Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to learn about AutoCAD. AutoCAD is a software used in urban and regional planning field to make road geometry. The road geometry is used to understand road features in urban and regional planning. We can actually use any kind of softwares as long as the scale is accurate, but today we're going to learn about AutoCAD first. In today's session, we're going to learn about basic tools and function of AutoCAD that we are going to use later on. First, let's get to know the basic elements and tools in AutoCAD used in this online class. First, we have drawing tools here in the left-hand side. Drawing tools, we can use lines to create lines and other shapes. And next is scale. Here we have X and Y scale. And at the bottom we have command line. We use to write commands in AutoCAD. And snap is our cursor, the cross one. And next is modify tools at the right side. There are also shortcuts for easier and faster way to do some commands. We can use F9 to restrict cursor movement to specify grid intervals. We can use F7 to turn the grid display on and off. We can use F8 to lock cursor movement to horizontal or vertical. And we can use F10 to guide cursor movement to specified angles. Now let's open the AutoCAD. If you've opened it, let's create a new AutoCAD file with clicking File and then New. And we can use any kind of templates. Just choose one and open. Now we have the new AutoCAD. We're going to create road geometry with 2 lanes road and symmetrical features. We can do it faster by mirroring it horizontally. So we start by creating the first half. We're going to start by using the line tool. You can click it at the drawing toolbar, or you can write line at the command line. So we're gonna mirror the house. We're gonna create the first half of the house first. Divide the length by 2, 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So we're going to create 2 meters of the house. Just click anywhere you want it, and you can see the length on the white box and the angle on the blue box above. Just write 2 meters and click space. Now we have 2 meters, and continue creating the house upwards 4 meters. Now we have it. When you've done with the lines, just click escape. Next, let's create the roof. First, we make an overhang for the porch. Let's assume the length is 30 centimeters, so it will be 0.3. And drag the line to the left and continue upward to make the roof. To make things easier, display the grid by clicking F7. Here you can, the end of the diagonal roof should align or parallel with the starting point of the bottom house. We can assume the slope of the roof for any angle. Let's make it 45 degrees. To end the line, just click escape. Now let's mirror the object that we've created. First, we need to highlight the half of the house, and then we could type mirror on command, then press space, and on the end point of the half of the house to mirror it. Now meet the bottom half of the house to create the full house. there will be questions to erase source objects. We should choose N because we would not want to erase the other half of the house. After we finish creating the house, we continue creating other features such as building perimeters and the road itself. Whether the road has 1 or 2 lanes, we're going to create it across the streets. First, we create the building perimeters by creating another line starting from the bottom front end of the house. Let's assume the building perimeter is 4 meters wide. So drag the line to the right and create a 4 meters line. The data we use creating a road geometry, such as building perimeters, drainage, sidewalks, road width, are obtained from primary survey. On your next studio classes, usually in transportation aspect, you're going to need to make road geometry. Therefore, you need to measure the distance from the building perimeter to the drainage and the width and the length of the road, and etc. Let's continue by creating the drainage. Most houses have fencing before the drainage, so let's make the fence first by using line tool. We're going to create the lines continuously from this point to the end. Let's assume the fence is 2 meters high, so drag the line upwards and create a 2 meters line. Let's assume the length is 30 centimeters, so create a 0.3 meters line and drag the line downward to finish the fence 2 meters length. And let's assume the gap from the fence to the drainage is 50 centimeters, so create a 0.5 meters wide gap. And next we can create the drainage. Assume it has a depth of 1.5 meters and a 1 meter length. Finish the drainage by dragging the line upwards 1.5 meters. And next we can create the pedestrian way. We can create the sidewalks. Let's assume the sidewalks is 2 meters wide. Drag the line to the right 2 meters. And let's assume the height of the sidewalk is 30 centimeters or 0.3 meters. Then we can create the road. Let's assume one lane of the road is 4 meters wide. So drag the line 4 meters to the right. 4 meters. And as I've mentioned before, we're going to make a 2 lanes road. Usually there is a greenway in the middle of the road. Let's assume the greenway is 30 centimeters height, just like the sidewalk. So let's create a 0.3 meters height. And it has, let's assume it has a 1.5 meters wide. As we've known before, that we're going to make similar features on each side, left and right side. We're going to mirror it. So we're going to make the greenway to 0.75 meters. When you finish with the lines, just click escape. Next, we want to make our geometry as informative as and visualized as possible. So we're going to add other features for the road geometry, such as street lights, drainage waters, vegetation, etc. First, let's create the water in the drainage. The purpose is for us to know the height or the depth of the water. Let's assume the depth of the water is 1 meter, so drag the line 1 meter upward and drag to the right until it meets the other side of the drainage perpendicularly. Yes, let's create the line, drag it upward, make it 1 meter, and drag it to the right to meet the other half of the drainage. And when you finish, just click escape. Next, we're going to make other features like street lights. We can use existing blocks from AutoCAD by choosing Tools menu above and Palettes and the Design Center. Here we have many folders. Just choose the landscaping and then blocks. Just choose this outdoor lamp and adjust the scale to 0.05 and then click OK. Just place it wherever you want. If it snaps to the end of the sidewalks, you can click the street lamp and write M on the command to move it. Space, and you can click the bottom of it and move it wherever you want. When you're done, just click escape. If we can find the suitable street lights, we can also create it ourselves. First, using line tool, let's assume the street lights is 30 centimeters from the road. So create a line from the edge of the sidewalks about 0.3 meters and then continue upward. Let's assume the street light is 3 meters high and create an arc. We can actually use arc tool, just type arc or pick the arc tool and just create the arc. Just create the arc and to give it let's have it a 0.3 thickness. The length is 0.3 and create the same height, that is 3 meters. 3 meters and complete the arc. And we complete the arc using the arc tool. We make it parallel to the arc created before and create lines to connect between the arcs. And to create the lamp, we can use circle. Just type circle, or you can click circle tools on the drawing tool and create it. The first point is the midpoint, and you drag it for the radius of the lamp. After that, we can trim the circle that we created. Just type trim and select the objects that you want to trim, then click space and just trim it. Okay, and press space when you're done. There we go, we have the street lights. After we finish the first half, we're gonna mirror the road geometry. First, we highlight everything and then type mirror space and click at the end point, and now we can mirror it. There it is again, the question. Just press N and then space. There we have it. And for the next, we're gonna add an objects and a vegetation for the greenway at the middle. Just choose any kind of tree. Let's choose this tree, palm tree, and adjust the scale into 0.05. Click OK and place it in the middle. Just place it at a midpoint. Now we have our geometry. Next, to add more visualization, we're gonna give our road geometry colors and patterns by using hatch tools. To use hatch tools, just type hatch and press space on the command line, or click draw menu above and click hatch. We can only give hatch to a closed shape, So before we hatch, we better check whether the area we want to hatch is closed or not. We cannot hatch lines too. First, we are going to give the water, house, and grass colors. Use the hatch tool, choose gradient, and pick the color we desire. Then click add pick points. Just click on the drainage, the water in the drainage, and click space and click OK. Do the same with the houses and the grass. Tap hatch and just pick the gradient, pick the color just that you want, or we can pick pattern also. Like this one maybe. Okay, click OK and add pick points. Click the house and click space, and now we have the pattern of the house. Do for another house and the grass the same thing. Maybe you want gradient, choose the color you want, maybe a red house. Okay, add pick points, click on the house, click space and OK. And for the grass, first we need to close the line, close the grass into a shape. Now we have the shape, so we can hatch it. Same, pick gradient. We want the grass to be green. Add pick points, choose the grass and click space and then OK. Now there we go, we have it colored. If both objects from both sides have the same color, we can actually hatch it before we mirror it, or you can do the process any way you want it. Depends on your need and convenience. To add more visualization, we can add other objects or features needed, such as cars, people, etc., using the palettes on Design Center. Next, to make it more informative, we're going to add dimensions. Click Dimensions menu above and click Linear to make a linear dimensions. We can also type DLI on the command line. Click from the starting line of the road and drag it to the end point, then click, drag it down, and then click it. There we go, we have the dimensions. We have 4-meter roads as we've created. We can also adjust any properties of the dimensions on dimension style here, or you can also type CH on the command line and we can modify it. For example, the text, we can change the text height into maybe 0.5. Let's try. Now we have it bigger now. Then we can also give more information on the road geometry we've made by using leader. Click dimension and choose leader, and click on any place you want, for example the building perimeter. Drag it upwards and to the right, and then escape, and then X. And you can give it a text, for example building perimeter, and okay, you're done. Any features on the road geometry is based on the existing road, especially the building height, sidewalk width, road width, and etc. We're going to export the AutoCAD file into a JPEG image. You can type Ctrl plus P on your keyboard, or type plot on the command line, or click File and then click Plot. Change the paper size to any size you want. Let's try A4, and change the printer name into Publish to Web JPEG. Click OK, and then click OK. Choose the folder you want to save. Let's save it on the desktop. Change the file name into anything you want. For example, AutoCAD 1. And after that, let's save it. That's it for today's session. We've finished creating a road geometry from AutoCAD. Thank you for all of your attention and good luck on your assignment. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.